Once upon a time, deep inside an old, mossy well, lived the king of all frogs. He was a good ruler, but he had one giant croaking problem. His own relatives. They were the worst. They complained about the water temperature, argued over the best lily pads, and generally made his royal life a living nightmare. Every single day, it was just complain, complain, complain. Finally, one morning, the king frog snapped. He'd had enough. "I can't live like this anymore," he croaked, his voice filled with frustration. He hopped onto the creaky old water wheel and hoisted himself out of the well, leaving the chorus of complaints behind. He was angry, hurt, and desperate for a solution. As he wandered through the tall grass, he spotted a sleek black cobra coiled near its hole. An idea, a very dangerous idea, sparked in the king frog's mind. He cautiously approached the snake. "My friend," he whispered, trying to sound brave, "I wish to make an alliance with you. I am the king of the frogs." The cobra's eyes narrowed into slits. "Friendship? With you?" It hissed, its forked tongue flicking out. "Impossible. Can fire and would ever be friends. You are my food, not my friend." But the king frog stood his ground. "You are right," he said calmly. "But hear me out. My own relatives have made my life miserable. I need your help. Come to my well. We'll point out the frogs who have tormented me and you can eat them." The cobra was intrigued, but skeptical.
Ow!
"Would I even get into a well? I have no legs to climb, and where would I rest?" The king frog smiled, a plan already formed. "There's a safe, dry corner just above the water. I will guide you there myself. But you must promise me one thing. You will only eat the frogs I point out. My friends and my family must remain untouched." The old hungry cobra, tempted by the promise of an easy meal, agreed. He slithered behind the king frog as they made their way back to the well. And so, the feast began. Day after day, the king frog would point out a troublesome cousin or a nagging aunt, and the cobra would happily gobble them up. The constant bickering in the well slowly faded away until one day there was silence. All the annoying relatives were gone. The king frog breathed a sigh of relief. Peace at last. But the peace didn't last long. The very next day, the cobra called out, his voice echoing in the quiet well, "King Frog, I'm hungry again. There are no more of your enemies left, only your friends. You brought me here, so you must continue to feed me. Give me more frogs." A cold dread washed over the king frog. He had made a terrible, terrible mistake. He had invited a predator into his home, and now he couldn't control it, but it was too late. One by one, the cobra began to eat the remaining frogs. He ate the king's loyal guards, his childhood friends, and then, in a heartbreaking moment, he even ate the king's own son. Soon, only the king frog remained, alone and terrified. Thinking fast, he approached the cobra. "Great cobra," he said, his voice trembling. "Let me go outside. I will travel to other wells and ponds and lure more frogs back here for you to eat." Blinded by his own insatiable hunger, the cobra agreed. The king frog leaped out of the well and never looked back. He escaped, a king with no kingdom, a father with no son. Days turned into weeks. The cobra waited and waited, growing hungrier and weaker with each passing day. He finally begged a little lizard who lived on the well's wall, "Please find my friend the king frog. Tell him to come back. I miss him." The lizard found the king frog and delivered the message. The king frog shook his head sadly. "Tell him I will never return," he replied. "A hungry creature will do anything to survive, and a promise means nothing to an empty stomach. I will not make the same mistake twice." The lizard carried the message back to the well, but it was useless. Inside the now empty well, with nothing left to eat, the great cobra slowly starved, grew weaker, and finally breathed his last.